Hello, BookTube. I'm going to skip all my other videos planned for today because I forgot that I had the Q&A, and that's a lot of Steve to show up in your inbox. But I do have one other thing I want to do today, and that's mail. Once again, a fairly large amount of mail showed up so late last night that it's basically Sunday mail. So I thought we'd go through that. I had to change positions here because my phone was running out of power. That's how long the Q&As went, and I can only plug it in if I'm closer to the plug, so I had to switch this around a little. We've got a few packages here and a box, so let's see what we can find here. Let's see if there's anything. I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for May finished copies, but who knows what we'll have. And you aren't getting any of it, baby, because you concerned everybody when you ate all that cardboard last time. Okay, what have we got here? This is from Erewhon Books. This comes out in a day or two, Tuesday. And this is the Unravelling by Benjamin Rosenbaum. I can't show you the book without blocking Frida. Let's see here. In a society where biotechnology has revolutionized gender, young fifth must decide whether to conform or carve a new path. In the distant future, somewhere in a galaxy, a world has evolved where each person has multiple bodies. Cybernetics has abolished privacy, and individual and family success are reliant upon instantaneous evaluations of how well each member conforms to the rigid society. Young Fift, F-I-F-T is the name I'm saying here, is an only child of the staid gender, S-T-A-I-D, struggling to maintain ZIR position in the system while developing a friendship with the acclaimed bioengineer Shreya, a controversial and intriguing friendship since Shreya is veil-gendered, V-A-I-L. No idea why that would be controversial. I guess you'll find out in the book. Soon, Fifth and Shreya unintentionally wind up at the center of a scandalous art spectacle which turns into a multi-layered unraveling of society. Fifth is torn between Zir attraction to Shreya and the safety of Zir family, between staying true to Zir feelings and social compliance, when Zir personal crises suddenly takes on global significance. What's a young staid to do when the whole world is watching? Okay, all right. It's not quite science fiction, right? Because there are lunatics in the world today who say that their pronoun is Zir, Z-I-R. It's the exact same thing. Z and Zir. There are people in the world today who expect to be walking around outside with, unsupervised, and to have jobs with salaries that do say that's who they are, what they are, when they are, whatever it is. So it's not. This is being characterized as, what was it? In the distant future, somewhere in a galaxy, a world has evolved, but this is clearly 21st century Earth. But we shall see. Who is the author, anyway? Benjamin Rosenbaum has been nominated for the Hugo, Nebula, BSFA, Sturgeon, and World Fantasy Awards. That's pretty impressive. He is the author of the short story collection The Ant King and Other Stories, and the Jewish historical fantasy tabletop role-playing game Dream Apart. Originally from Arlington, Virginia, he now lives in Basel, Switzerland, with his wife and children. Okay, well, this comes out in a day or two, so I guess I have to get right to it, right? It's a science fiction which I love. I have the only reason that I'm sounding a little negative here is because I've never seen anything written in the last 3 years that even fiction that even remotely touches on any subject like this that isn't just incredibly condescending and preachy. And I don't want to be condescended to, and I don't want somebody to preach to me about how gender is a social construct or any nonsense like that. So we'll have to see. Maybe the author doesn't do that. I hope the author doesn't do that. Then we'll move on. What's this next one here? That is softcover science fiction, and it's for a day or two from now. So it's not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for finished copies. Okay, this next one's a finished copy. That's great. Oh no, it doesn't have a pub sheet. Or I don't know when this is. But I've been looking forward to the book, and now I have a finished copy. This is Rhys Bowen, historical novelist Rhys Bowen, and this is the Venice Sketchbook. Obviously of interest to me, those of you who are new to the channel, I lived in Venice for a while and really, really love it. I loved it second only to Boston as a place to live. Let's see what we have here. Carolyn Grant is struggling to accept the end of her marriage when she receives an unexpected bequest. Her beloved great-aunt Letty leaves her a sketchbook, 3 keys, and a final whisper. Venice. Carolyn's quest to scatter Letty's ashes in the city she loved and to unlock the mystery stored away for more than 60 years. It's 1938 when art teacher Juliet Browning... Okay, so we're going to go back in time to Letty's youth. It's 1938 when art teacher Juliet Browning arrives in romantic Venice. For her students, it's a wealth of history, art, and beauty. For Juliet, it's poignant memories and a chance to reconnect with Leonardo da Rossi, the man she loves whose future is already determined by his noble family. However star-crossed, nothing can come between them, until the threat of war closes in on Venice and they're forced to fight, survive, and protect a secret that will bind them forever. Okay, so if they got married, then one of the keys that Carolyn received is to a property that she will inherit in Venice. And if they didn't get married, then one of the keys is to proof that she is their child. Either way, it's a historical novel set in Venice, so I'm all for it. I don't have a date for it, but I think it's out already, so I will read it. Oftentimes these mail hauls are also TBRs, so I'll read those two books I will read tonight. And then got another one here, and then the big box. This next one has a little heft to it, so it could be a finished copy. That's good. A May finished copy would be ideal. Oh, and look at that. It is. It's a May finished copy. This is something we've seen already. This is, okay, it's got a business card, but no pub sheet. But we've seen this already. So this is Doom, The Politics of Catastrophe by the historian Neil Ferguson. This is the finished copy. It looks just like the advanced copy, only it's not as thick. The advanced copy was thicker. So this has blurbs from Francis Fukuyama and Anne Applebaum and a bunch of other people. And it is about disasters, or how humans react to them. Disasters are inherently hard to foresee. Pandemics, like earthquakes, wildfires, financial crises, and wars, are not normally distributed. There is no cycle of history to help us anticipate the next catastrophe. Okay. All right. But when disaster strikes, we ought to be better prepared than the Romans when Vesuvius erupted, or medieval Britons when the Black Death struck. We have science on our side, after all. Yet in 2020, the responses of many developed countries, including the United States, to a new virus from China were badly bungled. Why? That's a rhetorical question, but it does have an answer, and in the United States, the answer is Donald Trump. Why did only a few Asian countries learn the right lessons from SARS and MERS? While populist leaders certainly performed poorly in the face of COVID-19 pandemic, Neil Ferguson argues that more profound pathologies were at work, pathologies already visible in our responses to earlier disasters. You can argue all you like. If this were still in the hypothetical realm, you could argue all you like, but it's not anymore. In the United States, we now have an objective example of how to handle this poorly and how to handle it well. It's in hindsight. It isn't a different pandemic. It's the same pandemic. We have an objective example of how to handle it poorly, make it all about you, view every single step to mitigate or fight it as a personal attack on you, hoard supplies, and dole them out according to whether or not which state governor is nicest to you. Barbaric, monstrous behavior. We have that, and then we have a president who says, I'm going to let the science do the talking, and I want everybody vaccinated. In America, we have an objective before and after picture. So speculating on whether or not authoritarian leaders were the key to the bad response might have been useful in early 2020, but there's no speculation on the subject anymore. It's a closed subject. So it's just going to be Neil Ferguson spinning his wheels. That's all. In books going back nearly 20 years, including Colossus, The Great Degeneration, and The Square and the Tower, the author has studied the foibles of modern America, from imperial hubris to bureaucratic sclerosis and online fragmentation. Yeah, man. Drawing from multiple disciplines, including economics, network science, and cliodynamics, Doom offers not just a history, but a general theory of disasters, showing why our ever more bureaucratic and complex systems are getting worse at handling them. Again, I say, hundreds of millions of people vaccinated in a matter of months. Again, I say, a United States president not saying you should shine sunlight up your Suez Canal. Again, I say, not a U.S. president muzzling health agencies and telling them what words they can and cannot use. Again, I say not a U.S. president saying, those sick people on that ocean liner, I'd like you to leave them there, because if you add them to the population, my numbers go up, and that looks bad for me. Again, I say all of that versus hundreds of millions of people vaccinated. New checks going out. Economic relief, an economy rebound, because a responsible, non-authoritarian sociopath is in charge. Those things aren't theoretical. There's no superstructure change that accounts for that. That is the change of leadership that did that. So the extent to which this book argues that leadership is just one factor among many is the extent to which it is simply provably wrong. But it's still a May finished copy, and that's fine. So then we have the box. I've got the camera positioned, of course, on a book here, which makes opening packages fairly easy, but wrestling boxes open is a little bit harder to do, because you just know that it wants the camera to fall. Because inanimate objects do have wants and desires, and you know this just wants the camera to fall. Or to unplug from the power cord, which amount to the same thing. Let's see if brute force can fix this, as it fixes so many things. Let's see if... There we go. All right, so brute force was indeed the answer. So what do we have here? An invoice. Don't need an invoice. And then what is this? Oh my. Is this from Yale? Yes, it is. Oh my. Oh, very nice. Okay, this is an art book. And it's an artist that most people outside the art world don't know. I love this artist's work. Fantastic. This is it's edited by Cicely Robinson, so I guess it's a whole bunch of essays. And it's Henry Scott Tuke. That is the cover. The neat little detail right there. Very nice. And there is the artist at work. What do we have here? Famed for his depictions of sun, sea, and sailing during the late Victorian and Edwardian Golden Age, British painter Henry Scott Tuke, who died in 1929, is an intriguing artistic anomaly, moving easily between multiple Cornish-based artist colonies and the London art scene. Stylistically, he represents a fusion of progressive, oh, goodness gracious, that's some art term, progressive art aesthetics and loose impressionistic handling of a vivid palette. And yet he was fundamentally an academic painter of exhibition nudes. Although consistently successful throughout his lifetime, in the wake of 2 world wars, his sun-drenched depictions of bathing boys come to represent a seemingly outmoded epoch. Featuring new research from leading authorities in Victorian and Edwardian art, the remit of this study is far-reaching. Essays tackle questions of wide-ranging artistic influences, experimental art practice, and the artist's varied reception history. Oh, this sounds just up my alley. Good Lord. The artist's repeated portrayal of adolescent male nudes provokes challenging questions about the depiction, exhibition, and reception of the body, especially the young body, both then and now. Oh my. Is this going to resist me opening it? I don't want to take forever to open this thing, but I would love to see inside it and show you inside it in case you feel like buying it. Okay, this is going to open. But then we're not going to do anything else. I was going to do a tag today. I was going to do Library Tour of Doom, but this is way too many videos from Steve. So we'll just do this. We'll just finish this book, and then we'll be done for today. There's always tomorrow for more videos. Oh my, okay. So this not only has this not only has photos of the period and artistic influences on Tuke, but also, I imagine, a ton of his paintings as well. Let's see. Do we have a ton of his paintings as well? I'm seeing lots and lots of influence artwork, which is always interesting, and that might have to do with the essays. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Can you see that in the glare of the sun? Fantastic. So this is going to have essays by a whole bunch of different hands. I actually really love that when it comes to oh man. Okay, this is so you have Frederick Walker of Bathers, which is a very similar type of thing, and then Boy on a Beach by Tuke in 1912. So this is one of those great art studies where it's going to give you antecedent works. Those can be expensive to set up, but fantastic. Oh man, I'm going to love this so much. I'm going to love this so much. I don't have any other work on this artist. And I bet I don't know a whole lot about it. I think I do, but that's always the way with something like this. And then you realize when you read these essays by experts how little you did know. Fantastic. Okay, didn't know this was coming. I don't think it's in May either. I bet this is out already. But I'm going to look up the date right away. Boy, oh boy, this was an active TBR. This was a mail haul, almost all of which I want to read right away. So we have Henry Scott too. Fantastic. It's a Yale book on him. If you're interested in Edwardian art, you should go out and order this from Yale or whatever. This is fantastic. Then we have Dune by Neil Ferguson. This is one of 3 general-purpose nonfiction bloviations for the month of May. You have Dune by Neil Ferguson. You have Freedom by Sebastian Junger, and you have The Premonition by Michael Lewis. Those 3 are all together. They're gonna do the rounds for talking heads and whatnot. And this is the finished copy of one of them. Then we have a finished copy of the Venice Sketchbook by Rhys Bowen, whose historical fiction I really, really like. And finally, The Unravelling by Benjamin Rosenbaum. Sort of speculative fiction that looks at how one relationship between 2 people might upset a whole society. So it could be very good. Echoes of Ursula Le Guin. So we'll see if it's any good. I will see right away with a lot of these books because there's a lot of stuff here that I want to dig into right away. But first, as you can tell from the rather deflated guilt trip that I'm getting, first a walk. First walkies, then everything else. But I wanted to finish this up, so that's it for today. Mail, because it's sacrosanct not to do the mail. And then Q&As, and then we'll do everything else tomorrow. So I will see you then. Thank you, BookTube.